How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and welcome to Sharks of Summer, the series I do on this channel where at least once a week, sometimes more, during the summer, I talk about a shark movie. And today I am super happy to be doing kind of this flashback video. We're going to be taking a look at all the Sharknado movies. So doing a physical media collection and a bit of a series review. Last year during Sharks of Summer I did individual movie reviews for every single one of these movies, and at the end of the video a playlist will pop up and you can see all those reviews there if you want my full extended thoughts. But I like to do this, to show off the physical media, but also try to talk a bit about the series as a whole and get my thoughts for the whole thing down in one place. Now, I will be trying to avoid major spoilers, but that being said, it's hard to talk about sequels without giving away a little bit about what happened in the past movie, and also sometimes there's an image on the cover art that might give something away as well, but I'll be trying to keep that sort of thing to a minimum. Anyway, the Sharknado series was a really fun series. The Asylum is the company that made them, and they aired on the Sci-Fi Channel. And the Asylum, primarily known for mockbusters, primarily known for shark movies. And this was sort of the moment that, they were self-aware and they made the biggest, craziest thing that they could. And I remember when these Sharknado movies first came out, everybody was talking about it because it was sharks in a tornado. How crazy is that? It went nuts, and I finally got around to watching all of them in a row, and really, they are super cheesy and stuff, but it was a formula that allowed the writers to do whatever dumb idea came into their head. And it was really rare to see that level of sort of extreme freedom, and I can really appreciate the Sharknado movies for that. So, the first Sharknado, enough said, a cult classic is born. Yeah, totally agree with that. You have Tara Reid and Ian Ziering in this movie. Ian Ziering is Finn. He's a local bar owner, and one day a hurricane is going to strike his small town, but sharks will get caught up in the hurricane, and he has to take some of his friends that were in his bar, including Nova, who will be a reoccurring character later on, and try to go save his ex-wife. And one thing I really do like about this is it starts out as kind of a normal asylum-level movie, but it does scale up and get bigger and crazier where they're actually trying to fight the Sharknadoes themselves. And obviously this is the first one. It doesn't go as crazy and as extreme as the later ones do, and it really does have more of that asylum feel than the rest of them do. But you can tell that this movie is just firing off on its cylinders a lot better than a lot of the other Asylum movies. The characters are more likable, there's more of a sense of focus in the plot, and there's a better idea, better sense of escalation. And yeah, even though, this wouldn't have gotten off the ground if it wasn't a good movie, and it is one of the better Asylum movies, but yeah, you get in people with that title, and then it actually has a fair amount of substance behind it. Yeah, you can see why this was a big hit. Open it up, the disc is the same as the front, and pay attention to this shark here. Moving along to Sharknado 2. Finn's in New York with some of his other family, and a tornado strikes New York. Overall, some people really like Sharknado 2. I wasn't the biggest fan. Sharknado, it was already self-aware, but it was even more self-aware here that it was kind of a cheesy cultural phenomenon. And this one is packed with so many celebrity cameos and jokes. This is a more jokey Sharknado, a more cameo-heavy Sharknado, and yeah, this is a little sillier, and a lot of the characters we hadn't met before, and they're kind of wandering around New York, and it's a lot less structured, you know? But it's, hey, it's sharks in New York, it's cheesy fun. But yeah, this is, I remember it's the one that's a little more jokey and less focused, and this is what I thought the first Sharknado would be. So yeah, not my favorite one, but it's still fun, you know? You get Finn here, he gets the chainsaw from the New York Fire Department there, and we also get this Target digital ticket thing that they were trying to do to sort of have a Target version of downloadable movies. But anyway, you know how I mentioned that shark? There he is again, same photo of the shark in the tornado, and that won't be the last we see of him. And there's the disc, same as the front, and there's the Target ticket thing that, who knows if they're still doing that. There's a code on the back, but I won't show it to you. And also, some embossing on the front there. Not the, well, a little on the title, but you can feel all the sharks. Anyway, moving on to the best one in the series, Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No. And I should mention, Sharknado 2 is literally called the second one, and 3 is Oh Hell No. But 3 is, without a doubt, the best in the Sharknado series. It opens up with Finn and President Mark Cuban, and he's receiving the Golden Chainsaw Award for killing all the sharks, and it's actually a functioning chainsaw, and the sharks attack the White House, and him and the president, played by Mark Cuban, are fighting off all these sharks. It's such a great and iconic opening. The rest of his family is at Universal, and he's trying to get to his family to save them, and we have Nova from the first movies back, and she's teamed up with Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle, and they've made a, you know, mobile shark hunting headquarters, and they're like shark hunting experts now. But this goes big. This goes crazy. You have David Hasselhoff as his father in this movie, who's a former astronaut, and let's just say this movie scales it up to big and extreme and crazy places. This is my favorite one in the franchise. Flip it to the back, you can see a good picture of the cast there, and the disc is the same as the front, the big yellow swatch there. And also, it's worth noting, you know, when you buy them on DVD, the extended version, and then the exclusive Sharktacular edition. They always, or at least most of the time, try to do little extended cuts, but I think it's pretty much minor. Anyway, up next, Sharknado The Fourth Awakens. Can we guess what movie came out around the time that this one did? Exclusive collector's edition, never before seen Viva Sharknado version. Yeah, the beginning of this movie opens up in Vegas, and oh, I meant to mention it earlier. So, this shark is right there, and on this one he's a little harder to see, but he's right there as well. Anyway, the later Sharknado movies, they're not as campy as Part 2, but they do get kind of campy, and they all kind of blend a little bit together. The 5th and 6th are kind of anthology movies with a different theme, and in turn, the 4th one gets a little bit forgotten about. There's basically this guy, I think that's him down there, who's kind of like Elon Musk, and he's a private tech billionaire that's found a way to stop tornadoes and in turn stop all Sharknadoes. And so the world's been peaceful for a while, but eventually the shark storm gets past his tech, and this is the one with the morphing Sharknado. So the Sharknado will pick up boulders and it'll become a Boulder-nado, or it will pick up oil that gets lit on fire and become a fire Sharknado. And there's even the Cow-nado in here. But yeah, this one is a little more forgettable. It opens up in Vegas, and I think once again he's trying to get to his family. I think he has a son that's on a farm in the middle of nowhere he's trying to get to, so it is another road trip movie. And this does have a few memorable cameos, especially me being a horror fan. John Carpenter's Christine shows up. That was fun. And this is also the one where he's in Texas and he needs a chainsaw, and he goes to a chainsaw store and it has several of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre characters there. That was really fun as well. So yeah, this has some crazy stuff in it, but for whatever reason, this is kind of the least memorable one. I mean, it's coming off the back of 3, which was the best one, and then 5 and 6 are the anthology ones, you know, so it's pretty good, but not the best of the series by any means, but it still is fun, you know? I'd like it better than 2, I think. But anyway, Sharknado 5, Global Swarming, and you get the stylized 5 Harknado. Technically, you know, on the back and on MVD it is just Sharknado 5, but hence the title, Global Swarming. It opens up, and it's kind of this Indiana Jones style opening where they're trying to get an artifact to stop Sharknadoes for good, but they accidentally unleash an evil teleporting tornado, and because of the teleporting tornado properties, it's actually gonna zap them all over the world. They'll get sucked up by a tornado and they'll teleport to a different country. So yeah, this kind of has the anthology element there. I think this is the one where Fabio plays the Pope and gives Finn a special chainsaw. I think that's this one. It was pretty fun. Like National Treasure, but with sharks. So yeah, 5 and 6 kind of being the anthology format, they do seem a little more rambly. It's just like, hey, we're going to do a section that takes place in this country now, and then a section that takes place in this country. And it constantly supplies, you know, little short bits, but it's, you know, it still is kind of, we're going here, we're going there, and not as, you know, much of a straightforward, you know, narrative, but it still is pretty fun. Lots of good gags in this one as well. There's the disc. And let's see, where is our friend? The one, I guess he's not on the cover. He's on the spine still. But, yeah, that reoccurring shark, I don't see him on the front cover here. Anyway, moving on to the last one, appropriately titled The Last Sharknado, It's About Time, and this is the Sharkaholic cut, and yeah, it's about time, because it's literally about time. This one, they go back into dinosaur times, and it's a bunch of people that have been plucked from time throughout the whole series, and they're going forward through time trying to stop the Sharknado from ever happening. So yeah, you see how, like I said, this is another sort of anthology one, where we'll go to, like, say, medieval times, we'll go to dinosaur times, we'll have a little bit of fun in each location, and there is a few, you know, plot things where, like, wait, why didn't that work out? Oh, I don't know. But one thing I absolutely love with this movie is how far it goes. This movie does get pretty insane towards the end of it, and they know it's the finale. They're pushing it as hard as they absolutely can, and there's this fun plot element with Tara Reid's character that gets pushed into absolute insanity, and yeah, I think this is better than 5. Yeah, it still is the anthology format, but it goes pretty far at the end, and I don't know, I like this. This has some insane moments, and there's our friend, the reoccurring stock image of the shark, and there's the back where we can see, you know, some characters, some, you know, it looks like a little robot shark, and a bunch of people Finn meets throughout time there. So, yeah, the last Sharknado, or, you know, the last Sharknado for now. I have no doubt that Sharknado will eventually come back in some form, you know. The Sci-Fi Channel loves it, so I could totally see them making it into a TV series. They could do a remake, they could do a reboot, or they could just do Sharknado 7, The Return. But anyway, I really do love this series, and one more note with our little stock footage shark friend. Take a look at the spine images up here. There's that shark again, that shark. This time he's red, he's a little smaller here, and in the final one, they're messing with time. Now he's reversed. But I do love that same stock image of a shark getting repeated over and over again. He appears on the spines more than Finn himself does. I don't know, that's pretty fun. But overall, I do want to say these movies are really good, cheesy fun. At first, when I first saw they were coming out, I thought, okay, this is just stupid. I didn't think it would be much more than a title with any little substance behind it. But yeah, the second one is kind of jokey. It is kind of like what I feared the series would be. But looking at all the other movies, I really see what the Sharknado series was about, and that's having no limits and embracing any dumb idea that would come into your head. I mean, literally, Finn hops into John Carpenter's Christine and gets chased almost Indiana Jones style by the world's largest ball of twine, which is full of sharks. And there's something about that extremism, that epicness, that idea that we can do anything, and that pure writer freedom, and really have it works the best. I mean, there is cameos, and that's fun, whatever, but it works the best when the humor is derived from how extreme and ridiculous the situation can get, and this series really does push it, and I really do love it for that. So it's not just a funny name. There is a fair amount of substance and a unique idea here, and I really do love this whole series, and it was fun to reminisce and look back and show you guys the physical media. But anyway, if you want to see more Sharknado stuff, I'll put a relevant playlist on the bottom, and you should be able to see my entire Sharknado reviews there. I have an individual review for every movie. If you want to see my more full, in-depth thoughts, you can watch those there. And yeah, a review for every single one. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. All my Sharknado movies. Have a good day now.